The OECS Regional Strategy for Development of Statistics officially launched. The CARICOM Development Fund lauded for funding border security in Dominica, and the Ministry of Education makes $20,000 donation to early childhood education centers around the country. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up. First up, the OECS Regional Strategy for Development of Statistics, RSDS, has officially been launched. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Planning, Gloria Joseph, says months of research and studies, spearheaded in part by the OECS Economic Unit and CARICOM, have brought in focus the statistical dilemma faced by member states.
I refer here to lack of appreciation for data and statistics at various levels, low priority of statistics, particularly in national planning and strategizing, lack of demand for statistics, the need for capacity building for collection, processing, and analyzing of data, and the problem of insufficient budgets to advance the need for accurate and reliable data through an efficient system for measurements and evaluation. The region is hopeful that the development of the RSDS will augur well for addressing these and other deficiencies, and that data in its varied forms will form an integral part at the very beginning of the economic planning process within the region.
Featured speaker at Tuesday's launching ceremony, Grenada's Minister for Economic Development, Oliver Joseph, said there were many benefits to be derived from a regional statistics strategy.
From my perspective, there are three key benefits from a regional approach to statistical development. One, we can achieve consistency of outputs within a framework that regulates and binds us to agreed methodologies, standards, and tools. Number two, we can also achieve efficiency in the production of statistics by not reinventing the wheel and instead looking to each other for best practices. And thirdly, centers of excellence can emerge such that we can help each other, knowing that our respective contexts and experiences are similar and our pursuits for growth and development are aligned. I look forward to receiving updates and celebrating the achievements as we implement the OECS RSDS 2017-2030.
The launching of the OECS RSDS follows the OECS Living Standard Measurement Committee meeting on Monday. In other news, the housing situation of low-income earners in Roseau and environs continue to see some improvement with the allocation of the apartment buildings in Elms Hall. This as 36 families have been handed their keys to the Elms Hall apartments. Under a housing revolution program spearheaded by the Labour Party administration, apartment complexes were constructed in Bath Estate and Elms Hall to help alleviate the financial burden of renting for low-income earners. The 26 Bath Estate apartments, on which construction started in September 2013, were allocated to residents in late 2016.
That happened sometime in October of last year. All the Bath Estate apartments have been allocated. There have been some teething problems. All the problems have been resolved, and the residents of Bath Estate, they are comfortable in their apartment buildings.
Earlier, Prime Minister Skerrit had said if all goes well, the 36 Elms Hall apartments, on which construction also began in 2013, would be occupied by Easter. The issuing of these apartments had been delayed due to Tropical Storm Erica, and the Housing Minister, speaking to Channel 5 News ahead of this week's handing over of the keys, said there was a master list of just under 1,000 people who had applied for the apartments.
Because of the bridge that was damaged by Tropical Storm Erica, we had an issue in getting the sewage system organized. That has been resolved, and I've been advised that the Elms Hall apartments are in fact ready for allocation. We have the master list, which is over 900 persons who applied for, and we only have like 30 left, because we had 60, we have allocated those in Bath Estate, we only have about 30 left, and we still have 900 persons to deal with. So there's a subcommittee which will be going through the list and to make the necessary allocations. Well, it's going to be based on need. It's going to be based on needs.
The funding for the apartment complexes came from a soft loan by the Chinese government. The official handing over ceremony for the Elms Hall apartments will take place at a later date. The CARICOM Development Fund's provision of border security equipment for Dominica after Tropical Storm Erica is being described as another tangible example of CARICOM at work. It was only on Monday that $1.5 million in highly specialized equipment to screen passenger baggage and a walk-through metal detector were formally commissioned at Douglas Charles Airport. It is believed that this level of support is making a difference and positively impacting the lives of CARICOM citizens.
The equipment was sourced through a CARICOM company, CSM Technologies, for the Dominican people and was financed by contributions of the member states of CARICOM. I would like to offer my thanks and compliments to all those who were responsible and played a part in getting the equipment here, installing and operating it at the levels of efficiency recorded thus far.
We have secured a maintenance contract for the proper keeping of the equipment so that we can continue to make effective use of this gift to the airport, which will help us in protecting our borders against acts of unlawful interference against civil aviation.
The CDF is funded mainly by CARICOM member states and subscriptions from external development partners including Turkey, Australia, China and Finland. The organization's first cycle of operations ended in 2016. For that period, 286 million EC was mobilized, of which 278 million was contributed by CARICOM. On to education now. The potential for serious expansion of All Saints University has again been hinted at by one of the members of the Board of Trustees. Dr. Clayton Shillingford told Saturday's White Coat ceremony the establishment of the main campus at Warner will provide the opportunity for growth and expansion. It is anticipated that students will find the new natural environment a bit more conducive to learning.
You are going to need more space for your laboratories. You will need more space for your library. You will need more space for improvements in the resources that you provide to the students here, and to get yourself to a level where further accreditation can be allowed to give you the avenues for the students graduating from this institution to be able to go into the advanced institutions anywhere in the world.
He acknowledged that All Saints University has brought a number of benefits to the island.
There is the opportunity for employment coming out of this institution, both at the professional as well as the other levels. The areas of security, the areas of services to the institution in various ways. As well, the community has the opportunity of providing housing for the students and other faculty who come here and who require housing here. That's another benefit to those persons who are able to go into the rental business.
Dr. Shillingford says health fairs and other community-oriented activities by students are also very useful. This is Channel 5 News. Coming up, vendors want renewed focus on a proposed vendors arcade in the city. Thank you for staying with us. Dominica's 17 early childhood centers and roving caregivers programs have benefited from an over $20,000 donation from the Ministry of Education. At the handing over ceremony on Wednesday, Minister for Education Peter Saint-Jean said this donation reflected the importance of proper early childhood education among the nation's youth.
During the National Symposium, in my address, I made an urgent plea for us to focus attention on the stimulation of children 0 to 3 years. We need to rethink our approach. Research continues to prove that while early childhood refers to the period of birth to 8 years, the first 3 years are the most critical in ensuring a successful future.
The minister urged early childhood educators to use the tools to positively stimulate the youth, while adding that this donation reinforced government's commitment to ensuring one graduate per household.
Early stimulation is of paramount importance. However, let me caution you that the process by which the stimulation is done is most critical. The government of Dominica remains steadfast in its commitment to the Dominican people. We promised you a graduate in every household, and we remain committed to that task. But we are cognizant that in order for us to achieve those objectives, that emphasis must be placed on the well-being of our children.
Meantime, Assistant Education Officer for Early Childhood Development, Vida George, says Wednesday's donation would help the early childhood learning centers reach regional and internationally approved standards.
To maintain standards at all our early childhood centers, one of the monitoring instruments that is used is a harmonized checklist which serves the countries in the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS. One of the areas under this monitoring tool is the quality of the programming, which looks at the materials that are available at our centers and the use of the materials in providing early education for the children. It is expected that following the handing over of these manipulatives, the quality of the programming at all our daycare centers will improve, and our facilities will be able to meet not only national, but regional and international standards.
The oldest early childhood learning center in Dominica is St. Anne's Daycare, which was established in 1957. In court news now, another police officer, Sergeant Philbert Bertrand, is challenging a decision by the Police Service Commission, which he claims bypassed him for promotion to Inspector of Police. Channel 5 News spoke with one member of the PSC on Wednesday in our effort to reach the chairman. We'll continue to try to reach him to help bring greater clarity to this development. Sergeant Bertrand, meantime, is asking the court to grant him leave for judicial review and administrative order in respect of the decision by the PSC. On Wednesday, Bertrand's lawyer, Gildon Richards, filed court documents on his behalf at the High Court. Bertrand is asking the court to make a declaration that in making the said decision or decisions, the PSC violated PSC regulations. Bertrand is challenging the appointments of two other officers to the rank of inspector. He claims to be more senior and experienced, and while the promoted candidates, he says, may have better academic qualifications than he does, he says they lack his depth of knowledge and experience. The Police Service Commission is created under Section 91 of the Dominican Constitution Order. It has the power to appoint persons to hold or act in offices in the police force below the rank of Deputy Chief of Police, including the power to confirm appointments, to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office. A cohort of medical students who have just overcome one of their first major hurdles in their chosen career have been told to watch out for a nasty virus called discrimination and to adhere to universal procedures. White coat recipients from All Saints University have been told to avoid falling into the trap of treating patients differently based on their perception of these people. Students were told they should grab the opportunity to foster change by letting their professionalism rule, as opposed to giving in to the ways of older professionals who can get stuck in their ways. There is a concern that some doctors give better treatment only to people they know and who can afford it.
Give the same treatment to every patient according to their need and not according to their background, not their colour, not their religion, not their HIV status, not their sexual orientation or their gender. Just remember one thing: we're in this to love people and use things, and not the other way round.
Alexander reminded white coat recipients, even if their parents could not make it to the ceremony, they had sacrificed a lot to support their dream.
I know they would like to be here. I'm not quite sure what the time is. It's probably the middle of the night in Nigeria now, right? But I know that they are very proud of your achievement. Many of them sacrificed for you to come here. So I sympathize with them, because I would not want my daughter to be facing such a milestone without me there to cheer. So I'm sure you can hear them cheering you.
And Roseau Bayfront craft vendors say they would like to see a government-proposed vendors arcade return to to the front burner.
Vendors spoke to Channel 5 News on Wednesday as 2 ships docked at both of Roseau's ports. They say they would prefer a more comfortable setting to do business, like the Vendors Arcade.
How many years they're talking and I haven't seen nothing happening, you know? But that would be better than we there in the open. When it's rainy and windy, you know, our things fly out all in the sea sometimes, you know? So being in the arcade would be better than being out here.
I am in support of it. Not now. Since they first talk about it, I'm in support of it. And to me, it would be a lot better when rain is falling, water is there, wind is blowing, and you have to be running. So if it is there, we are in, I would say, a house, properly secured from rain and wind and sun. So the arcade would be good in a sense, where I would say most of the vendors like me that have to open and carry a load would be down below, and then the other people that don't have those big would be upstairs.
Oscar says a wall which was recently built along the strip where she sets up her stall has also presented a challenge for vendors when it rains.
From the time he put up this wall, then we are in water soaking. That is one of our problems. In a sense, that is good, but it's the way they did it because of the water coming back right here. You see, I have to be carrying some of those boards and put there so that I'm not standing in the water.
Security of their possessions is also a factor that they have to consider, since they have to come to the location with their load very early in the morning to set up stalls.
It would be good so I won't have to get up at least sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning to do what I have to do to come down, you know, and then to open all this stuff, you know. It would be good. But for now, we are all right where we are here. In the beginning, when we started, I started off with a table and an umbrella, you know, and then the stall without any roof. And when you see it would rain a lot and wind, it would be very difficult. Sometimes we wet up, umbrellas fly in the sea, you know, so. But now it's a little better. Okay. But it could be better.
Well, anything they do would be all right for me because when rain, we have a problem here. Most of the things go to the sea. And then you would have to be holding the thing for, see, they get broken all the time. Umbrellas fly, clothes fly, everything fly away, but we just have to secure them.
One woman says she would be in favor of moving to a building to vend once every vendor would be required to.
Sometimes you're on the way front and you don't make when you go in a close-up place. But if you have to move like to the arcade, everybody has to go. You know, like the old market people not going to stay there and we are going to live here and move. If they have a arcade, everybody should go in one place. Then maybe it would be viable. You can't have half going there and half staying outside.
That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, Windward Volcanoes will have an interesting contest when they face first-place Guyana Jaguars on home turf in round 10 of the WICB PCL Regional 4-Day Tournament on Saturday. If we take a look at the points standing after round 9, Guyana was on 109.8 with 4 wins. Barbados Pride closely follows with 105.2, having 3 wins and a loss. Jamaica Scorpions third on 98.6 points with 4 wins and 4 losses. Locally based Windward Volcanoes are just 5.8 points behind on 92.8 with 3 wins and 4 losses. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force is next with 81.8, while Leeward Islands Hurricanes is in the cellar position with 66.4. On to track and field, 12 athletes will get a chance to make Dominica proud when they go up against the best in the region at the upcoming Carifta Games this weekend. The squad reads Natalie Roberts, javelin, Keva Pear, 8 and 1,500 meters, Kian Benjamin, 1 and 200 meters, Tia George, 100 meters, Fanny Gregoire Globinski, 3,000, Trinice Hamilton, shot put, Shani Angol, javelin, Keon Burton, javelin, Josh Tuse, shot put and discus, Danielson Mehote, 2 and 100 meters, Cody Hamilton, 200, and Leon Hippolyte, long jump. Meantime, President of the Dominica Amateur Athletics Association, Godwin Dorset, encouraged all and sundry to invest more into track and field.
As I spoke earlier, I asked for greater support for track and field, and athletes, coaches, officials, I must say that while we the administrators look and cry for greater support, but you have the greater job in providing or to bring these people to us, to bring these businessmen or these administrators or these great coaches, or to encourage the government to spend some more on track and field, or to encourage the sports division to put more people involved in coaching track and field and these type of things, because if your performance can continue to raise their eyebrow, to ask them to bring more to us, with your performance, you can do that job.
The 2017 Carifta Games are scheduled for April 15 to 18 in Curacao. Next up, the 2017 Flow DABA League continues on Thursday with 2 Division 1 matches. At 7, we have 767 Sports up against PSC Falcons 2, while at 9, it will be a clash of Digicel Clouds and Lindo Park X-Men 2. Both games are carded for the Massac Hardcourt. Back with more cricket, we can tell you that 4 Caribbean Premier League games will be played in the U.S. later this year, as Florida's Central Board Regional Park has been approved by the ICC to host the T20 matches. The stadium in Lauderhill, which remains the only ground to have ODI and T20 certification by the ICC in the U.S., will host 2 matches, fewer than last year's tally of 6. CPL officials announced the development after receiving permission from the ICC. The 2017 edition of the tournament will run from August 4 to September 10. Next up, President of Dominica Bodybuilders Association and Physical Culture, Emmanuel Loblack, says things are shaping up nicely ahead of the 2017 bodybuilders competition here. This as the association seeks to bring added exposure to the sport.
Well, so far I think I am very happy. What I've been seeing, I think we should have at least close to about 15 competitors for the competition. Mr. Fitness should have the most. Mr. Flex should have at least 4. For Mr. Flex, also Mr. Strong itself. There are more and more guys coming in, you know. There are some guys who are shy. They want to see what it's like, which I understand. But I think we should have at least 15, maybe more when it gets closer. But so far, I think I am satisfied. The excitement is good.
He says the athletes will go through a series of strength tests on the night.
Mr. Strongman, in particular, will be doing bench press. And everything is 1 rep. All right, Mr. Bench press, squat, and deadlift. Mr. Fitness will be doing push-ups, dips, and chin. And Mr. Flex, as you know, which is the body parts. Also, we have an added attraction. will be a martial arts exhibition.
First prize will be $1,000, second $500, and third $300 for the Mr. Flex, Mr. Strongman, and Mr. Fitness categories. The competition is carded for April 29 at Arawak House of Culture from 8 in the evening. Sports continues with this item where training for the Windward Island School Games will be in full swing as the sports division continues to prepare the local talent for the competition in St. Vincent.
As the sports division continues to prepare for the 2017 Windward Island School Games, which will be taking place in St. Vincent this year, we are inviting all the students who have been selected to train for the games to attend a meeting on Thursday the 13th at the Windsor Park Stadium, and that will take place from 10 o'clock in the morning. The staff and the coaches will meet with all these athletes to discuss some pertinent issues surrounding the games, and as we continue the training process for the games, in preparation for the games. We can also say part of the intensification of training will take place during the Easter vacation.
That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
We check in now with the Met Office for the latest weather update.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's Twitter broadcast. I will be your presenter for this evening, Farah Rock Korea. Today, weak and stable conditions was a dominant feature, affecting weather conditions across Dominica and the rest of the islands of the Eastern Caribbean, resulting in partly cloudy to cloudy skies across Dominica. Earlier visible satellite imagery showed some low-level and also some high-level clouds in the area. We move on now to some earlier radar imagery, and what it indicated was some scattered showers across the Lesser Antilles. The weather tonight is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with some scattered showers, and tomorrow will be partly cloudy to cloudy with scattered showers mainly during the morning period. Maximum temperatures are expected to peak up to 30 degrees Celsius. Let's move on now to the marine forecast. Well, like yesterday, sea conditions will continue to be moderate and waves once more will peak up to 7 feet. Of course, small craft operators and seabathers, please do exercise some level of caution. Let's take a look now at the weather for the rest of the week. Well, as I said, tomorrow, Thursday, partly cloudy to cloudy with scattered showers mainly during the morning period. On Friday, fair to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers. And on Saturday, it will be partly cloudy at first. Then it will become increasingly cloudy with some scattered showers by afternoon. Let's move on now to the Caribbean forecast. Well, cloudy skies with some scattered showers can be expected for the northern portion of the islands, with partly cloudy skies with a few brief showers for the southern portion of the islands. On the international scene, some thunderstorm activity expected for the city of Caracas. Partly cloudy skies for New York, Miami, and London, and Beijing will enjoy some sunny skies tomorrow. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:52 a.m. and will set at 6:20 p.m. For more information, you can always visit our website at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us tomorrow evening for your next weather broadcast. Thank you for listening.
To end the news, the headlines again. The OECS Regional Strategy for Development of Statistics officially launched. The CARICOM Development Fund lauded for funding border security in Dominica. And the Ministry of Education makes $20,000 donation to early childhood education centers around the country. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can access the news on YouTube. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Julian Morris, and to our viewers around the world, thank you for watching.